And greetings everyone, time for another flashlight review, and here's something from Folomov. This is the first Folomov flashlight that I have owned. I've seen them around for a while and seen some of their lights being available here and there, but this is the first time I've actually had the chance to try one. And the Folomov 18650S is the subject of today's review. And as you can see from the box, it has some reasonably nice features. It does have a Nichia 219D LED, and says so right there, with a top lumen output of 960 lumens. It is also hard anodized, as you can see here, and just has some basic markings here on the box, and on the back has more basic information regarding the light, of course, and some of its main features here are described, as well as the lumen output. So just to open up the box, we'll show you that it comes out on a traditional little plastic tray, and you have some pretty nice accessories in here. First of all, here is the flashlight. It's exactly 4 inches long, and with a nice strong pocket clip. And as it says right here, it'll only use an 18650 lithium-ion battery. And here is the LED, which is the Nichia, amidst a smooth reflector, so it has a reasonably decent beam distance, beam throw. And here's your tail cap and tactical button on the end. There is no button on the side of the light, no side switch, so sole operation is via the tail, and that is tactical. Almost, it is tactical in nature. It's not silent, but it does present tactical light in one of its 2 operating modes. Elsewhere in the package, here is the manual. Here is a USB charging cable, which is meant for the battery that they include, which is USB chargeable. And here is a standard lanyard. Oh, there was also another package here with a couple of spare O-rings. I'm not sure where that disappeared. Oh, it's inside. It's in the bottom of the box. But anyway, a couple of spare O-rings are down there in the bottom of the box. So, as I mentioned a moment ago, they include a battery, and it's already inside the light. Here's your spring in the tail cap. So here's the battery, which is a 3400 mAh 3.6 volt 18650, and along the side here is the USB input. It's a standard, it's not a USB-C, same as the end of this cable. And once you plug the USB in there, you'll get the little indicator light on the top of the battery. That'll be in red to show it's charging, and then it'll turn green on this side to show it's finished. Of course, you can charge the battery however you want. You can put it in a standard charger and do it that way, or charge it this way with the USB, your choice. Let's take a look at that manual here for a second and just clear up the there's turbo at 960, high at 320, medium at 160, low at 50, then you get the lowest at 10, and moonlight at 0.5. And there's also strobe, SOS, and beacon. A couple of the other particulars: you get your maximum beam distance of 170 meters, it's 1 meter impact resistant, IPX8 waterproof, and there are your other there are your weights and measures right there. It has a couple of other features, including, well, actually, so it runs on 2 different modes. You can set it to a tactical mode and to an illumination mode. Illumination mode is the standard, and that will get you the standard outputs over here. Tactical will only give you strobe and SOS. Strobe and turbo is what I meant to say. It does not give SOS. Strobe and turbo is on tactical, and as a matter of fact, the manual is wrong. It says it only gives you turbo, not strobe, but it does do both. So that's where the manual is incorrect. And there's also a lockout feature you can use. You can turn it off, of course, so it doesn't turn on accidentally in the pocket. You just push the button 3 times and it'll lock out. There's a countdown timer as well, and that's where you can press the button in increments of 3, and each time you do that, it'll allow the light to stay on 3 minutes longer before it turns off automatically. I won't show you this, but if you want to read about it extensively, you can visit my written review at lightsandgear.com, and you can read about how the countdown timer works. There's also a low voltage warning, and that basically means that when the battery's voltage gets low, you'll lose the turbo and the high mode, and basically only have low and medium for a little while until it gets very low, and then of course you'll lose the medium mode. And the way you switch from one mode to the other is by pressing the button quickly 7 times. And that's all described in my written review as well. And I'm going to get to a couple of outdoor shots here to show you in a matter of moments as well. But for now, let's put a battery in. This battery already has been used a bit, so I'm going to use a different one. And I'll also mention that even though the tube here is quite deep or quite long, so it does accept slightly longer length 18650 batteries. It does not work very well, or at all I should say, are flat top IMRs like a Samsung 30Q, a high drain, and it won't work with those because of the flat top and the shortness of the battery. It just doesn't make contact with the spring in the bottom. But it will take all button top batteries, and even those like this Olight, which tend to be a little bit longer in length. So that goes down perfectly, and the tail cap goes down very well over that. As soon as you tighten the tail cap, it actually blinks out the front for a second or two, even when it's turned off, just to show that it has made contact. So anyway, the switch is on the bottom. Even so, though, it tail stands very well, so you'll have no problem doing that. And once you press the button on the back, you will get instant light, and to turn it off, you press and hold. So here's the beam, and it's very nice. It's a slightly warmer temperature than a cool white will be, and it also has a pretty nice ratio of spot versus flood. Now, the switching in the regular illumination mode goes up and then down. It goes like this all the way up to turbo, and then starts going back down to the lowest, and then starts going back up again. So it never just goes in one direction, it always goes in both directions. Once it hits the top, it goes down to the bottom, and then at the bottom it goes up to the top. So that's the way the mode switch, the mode switching goes. There is no instant access to turbo, which I find kind of strange, but there is instant access to moonlight. And with that, you'd have the light off, and then you press and hold it for a second, and then you get to the moonlight mode. Let me turn this light off here. So here's moonlight, and it's pretty nice. It's actually a little bit brighter, or seems a bit brighter than some moonlight modes, and a lot of them are. You can actually see into the next room there with this moonlight. So there it is, and if I, of course, give it another press, moonlight is only accessible by pressing and holding from the off position. That's the only way you'll get to moonlight. If I just press from here, it'll go to the lowest mode, or actually no, that's using mode memory right now. It does have mode memory, of course, so it'll always go back to the mode it was in before. But so I can switch it like to moonlight there, and then it'll go back to where I was. So let's go up to well, that was turbo. So now right now we're on high, and here's medium, and here's low, and here's the lowest. And this is the lowest that you'll get in the switching. Moonlight is lower than this. Now if I press it again, I'll go back up to low, and then medium, and then high, and then here we are in turbo. So here's the turbo mode, very nice beam. very smooth beam, and a pretty nice color as well. And now you're back down to high. Now if I want to go to the emergency modes, you would double click, and here's strobe. Double click again, and here's SOS. And then double click again, and it goes into beacon. And this is a very interesting beacon mode in that it looks like you're watching a lighthouse go on and off. See that? I'm not doing a thing, it's just doing it all on its own. That's a very interesting beacon mode. How useful it might be to you, I don't know, but I think it's just kind of cool that it works like a lighthouse would if you're watching it from the shore, you know. So anyway, that's beacon. And then if I give it one press from there, it'll just go back to the last regular mode it was in. And as I said before, if you want to change modes, then you have to press the button several times. It has to be off, and you do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It blinks at you like that, and now it's in the tactical mode, and all the tactical mode it will do like this is give me turbo. If I just press it quickly, it'll give me turbo consistently, and then if I turn it off and then keep my finger on the button as I press it, it will be like a tactical. So each time I hold and release, it goes on and off. But if I just do it once quickly, then it holds it in turbo continuously. So that's the way the tactical mode works. And if I double click within turbo, I'll still get strobe. But that's all it does. If I click again, it turns off. And then if I want to go back to the illumination mode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, click it again, there are the flashes, and now we're back in the regular illumination mode. So that's how the switching works. Let's take it outside and see what it looks like there. Alright, so there are your outdoor shots. Hope you enjoyed those. Anyway, I think the Folomov 18650S is a pretty cool little flashlight. It doesn't have instant access to turbo unless you're in the tactical mode, but it has those other nice features, and the countdown is kind of interesting if you want to turn the light on and leave it for a bit while you're doing something else, and then it'll turn off on its own. But as I say, it's a pretty cool light, and it's very small, and it's rather inexpensive as well. You can check out the written review at lightsandgear.com. Of course, there is a link to purchase the light at Amazon below, and the same link is in my written review, so you can take a look at all that, plus other flashlights, batteries, and chargers. But overall, I think it's pretty cool, the Folomov 18650S. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Questions or comments, let me know, and we'll see you next time for more, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.